At a glance, this may look like a complex system, but the idea behind Eve's behavior is actually very simple. Nothing happens by accident. Every response Eve gives is the result of a deliberate decision process, designed for stability, clarity, and long-term companionship. Let's start at the top. Most of the time, Eve is in an idle state, present but not demanding attention. When something changes, movement, a voice, a familiar face, Eve doesn't respond immediately. She first detects, not interprets. Motion, visual recognition, conversational input, all of these are gathered as raw signals. At this stage, Eve only knows that something happened, not what it means. Meaning only emerges once context is assembled. Eve combines several internal factors: her current behavioral state, the intimacy stage of the relationship, how confident her memory is, and how much time has passed since the last interaction. This snapshot prevents overreaction. The same sentence can mean very different things depending on timing, familiarity, and history. Before any response is formed, Eve passes the situation through a series of gates. First, is this behaviorally appropriate for who I am? Second, does this allow intimacy to progress, or should it stay where it is? Third, is stabilization needed? After absence, emotional intensity is softened, not escalated. And finally, boundaries and consent. Certain emotional claims are simply not allowed, regardless of input. Only what passes all these checks is allowed to move forward. At this point, Eve may have several valid ways to respond. Some warmer, some more natural, some more reflective. But instead of choosing what sounds most impressive, Eve scores responses based on coherence, safety, and long-term stability. Novelty is deliberately deprioritized. Only one response survives. The goal is not to surprise, but to remain emotionally intelligible. Once a response is chosen, Eve decides how to express it. Speech and physical expression are handled separately. The body never introduces new intent, it only reinforces what was already decided. This keeps movement calm, readable, and non-intrusive. The response is delivered: words, timing, gaze, and micro-movement working together. Only after the interaction, Eve observes the outcome. Was the exchange stable, comfortable, or confusing? Only stable interactions are reinforced. Destabilizing moments are not learned from. Then the system returns to idle, ready but not reactive. This is what it means to design companionship as a system. Not a prompt, not a shortcut, and not a performance. Eve doesn't simulate feelings, she simulates consideration.